Disruption. Because that's the title of my talk, Dancing with Disruption. Disruption means a radical change that shatters the status quo. And I'll tell you, in any given year, I will give about 120 talks like this. I'll work with 30 to 40 different organizations, and there's not a single company on this planet that isn't going through radical change that shatters the status quo. And so the way you want to handle disruption is you want to be confident even when you're nervous, because if you're confident, you make other people confident. You know, every year, I predict what I call the trends that will transform the next year. So what I'm about to share with you is a public service announcement. Go to www.mikelipkin.com and check out a video, absolutely free. It's 12 minutes, and I talk about the 10 biggest trends of 2018. And you know what I say on this video? I say I can make these predictions with total certainty. I'm not saying that they're definitely going to happen, but I can make them with total certainty. You get that? So as I tell people, I'm often wrong, but I'm never in doubt. I am living proof that confidence alone will get you through life, and it will get you through life extraordinarily well. Right? Because if you've got the confidence, you take on the challenges. And what I love about Calgary is that it's a city filled with people who are willing to take on the challenges. Let me see by show of hands, how many of you were not born in Calgary? How many of you came here to start a life? Look around you. This is a room filled with people who believe in the beauty of their dreams. You came here because you believe that the best way to predict the future is to make it happen. So you want to act with that kind of confidence, because if you act like this, it becomes contagious. How many of you have noticed that when you're on fire, you light everyone up around you? Am I right? It's like when I go into a meeting, I look around the room, and I see 4 kinds of people in my audience. The first kind of person I do not see here today, they are what's known as the prisoner. The prisoner looks like they don't want to be there. They look like they're forced to be there. They look at me as if to say, I hate your guts, now what have you got to say? The second kind of person is what I call the vacationer. I see a few of them here today. A vacationer is someone who doesn't want to be there, but they're happy not to be at work. The third kind of person is what I call the skeptic. The skeptic says, yeah, I'm willing to believe, but I need more proof. And then the fourth kind of person, and that's the kind of person in this room today, are what I call the students. And the students know that when they are ready, the teacher appears. So today, everyone on the stage is your teacher, but you know what? The people next to you, every one of the 5,000 people in this room are your teachers, because today you're a student. And the best way to dance with disruption is to be a student of everything and everyone. Let me give you the ultimate secret, right? So my talk here today is all about secrets. Here's the secret. All you do is take this away, other than what Tony shares with you. If you take this away, today will be a great day. The source of power is fascination. I mean, think about certain words in the English language. Have you noticed just by saying those words, you feel those feelings? So when I say the word fascinate to you, look what I've got to do with my face. Fascinate. If I say enthusiastic, if I say happy, if I say delighted, if I say thrilled, if I say electric, those are words that galvanize you not just mentally, but also physically. So you want to be fascinated, because what's the opposite of fascinated? Throw out a word. What do you think the opposite of fascinated is? This is the interactive part of the program. Who said frustrated? Very good. What's your first name? Chris. Chris, have you been to my sessions? No. Chris, come up on stage. Come up on stage. Give Chris a round of applause. Just let's make sure this works. Chris, hold that. Chris, what's your surname, Chris? Chris.
Yeah, Chris Eric.
Chris who?
Eric.
Chris Eric. Chris Eric, ladies and gentlemen. Chris, so Chris, you get it. By the way, are you nervous in front of all these folks?
Actually, no.
How does it feel?
Natural.
Natural? Yeah. What do you do for a living, Chris?
I run a moving company.
You run a moving company?
Yes.
So you run a moving company. That's pretty cool, right?
I own a moving company, yes.
You own it now?
Yeah.
So you own and you run a moving company. So Chris gets it right. So Chris, you said the opposite of fascinated is frustrated. Why? And hold the mic close to your mouth.
It just seemed like the right word to fit. If you're not fascinated, I always, when somebody told me one time, said, instead of, I think it was Bob Proctor, said, instead of saying you're frustrated with somebody, say, hey, isn't that fascinating?
Yeah.
So when somebody said to me, when you're frustrated, just change your vocabulary.
Yeah.
And you will change the way you feel inside, and it will alter the way your outcome becomes.
Wow, that's fascinating. Very good. Big round of applause. And I want to give you this book.
Oh, thank you.
Nice, Chris. Pleasure. Right. So look, that's fantastic. I mean, of all the people in the room, I call up Chris, and Chris gives my talk. But Chris, why is that important? Because Chris is both intellectual, but he's also instinctive. Did you hear what he said? It just felt like the right thing to say. And I'll tell you this, you're at your best when you're fascinated. You're at your worst when you're frustrated. Because how many of you have noticed when you're frustrated, you say things that you regret forever? But when you're fascinated, you engage others in such a way that they want to come back and be with you over and over and over again. And by the way, the people that you need to be fascinated with are the people who frustrate you. Because those are the people who are stretching your love and tolerance of the human race to the max. By the way, how many of you in this room are getting way too much recognition? Who's got to turn to your boss and say, stop with all this love? Stop with all this kudos. I can't handle the appreciation. We don't get enough of that. And I don't know about you, but the longer I live this life, and when I think about what happened in 2017, the good, the bad, and the ugly, when I think of this moment specifically, all I can think about is that I am participating in a miracle right now. This is a miracle. I mean, imagine what it takes to bring 5,000 people together with one mission. And that mission is not just to be your best, but to help the community become its best, to help the province become its best, to help the country become its best, to help the world become its best. Yeah!